Hello folks, how are you? D-Rock here, You First Outdoors. Hope you are all doing well. What are we looking at today? Well, I'm going to tell you. I have a new pair of boots that I'm pretty excited about. They are the Mammut Trovat Guide High GTX boot. It's a mouthful, let me tell you. Anyway, to continue on here, I am very excited about putting these boots on and going for a walk. I just got them. These are kind of, I wanted to try something else than the Salomon Quest 4D GTX boots that I've so fondly have reviewed and enjoy wearing. I wanted something a little more, I guess for lack of a better word, robust. So I did a little research and I wanted something that I could use for a little more, I guess, moderate mountaineering. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but I'll use it anyway. Than what I was using with the Salomon Quest boots. Now, I'm not saying those boots are bad. I think they're fantastic, but I just think I needed something a little more, well, robust. There you have it. So let's take a look at these boots. I have not worn them, broke them in or anything. We're gonna have a look at them, and then I think I'm gonna go try and walk up a mountain in them, see what happens. Okay, so let's talk about the specs of these boots here. I've got my little cheat sheet in my hand, so please bear with me there. Looking down into them here, and on the front, man, what a solid looking boot that is. So the first thing that jumps out at me, and to you I suppose, is the full Rand wrap. Look at that. All the way around the boot. I like that. I'm rough on boots. I'm rough on my gear. I think this is pretty cool. That wrap all the way around the boot for extra protection. Another thing is I think the boot's been built up pretty well to handle your ankle support with a lot of weight. I think it's going to be a really stable boot. Let's have a look at that traction. Another thing I liked about this boot is the really beefy Vibram sole on it, and the fact that these can be easily resoled. I really like that. So what I'm looking for here is some longevity. These boots ran me about 280 bucks. So they're a little more expensive than the Salomon Quest boots that I've been using. Not by much, by about $50. But what I'm hoping is that the boot will indefinitely last a little longer. So, and the fact that I can put new soles on the boot, definitely sounds good to me. How much do they weigh? I think these are right under 2 pounds per boot, that is, not together. So I think we're looking at 1 pound and 12 ounces. Not, from what I've read, that's what we're looking at here. So here's a look at the back. Another thing I like about these boots is that they are strap-on, crampon compatible, because I will be using them to walk in snow and ice. And the materials is nubuck leather. Of course, the heavy-duty Vibram sole. And we've got another leather on the inside there. Hold on, let me check my sheet here. I think inside is the Napa leather. It's very soft. And of course, we have the Gore-Tex. So it looks like it's going to be a really comfortable boot. Now, of course, I think there's going to be a little bit of break-in involved with these. But the boot feels not too heavy. I think it's going to be pretty well. Just a look at the tongue here. and the lacing. Those eyelets there. Looks like a pretty serious boot. So these are sized 10.5s. I bought a half size larger than what I generally wear. I've heard these run a little small. I don't know personally, but that's just what I've researched. So and I generally buy shoes, boots, half size larger anyway for my outdoor excursions, just because if I want to wear Neo socks or anything of that nature, thicker socks, it's going to accommodate. Also with boots especially, I'll stick with that just because coming down, let's say mountains or down canyons for miles and miles, I like to avoid toe slap, meaning I like to keep my toenails. I just think it's a really beefy looking boot here. Yeah. One thing looks, got this stiff nubuck leather here. Then you've got this, which is really, it's foamy. What does it say in here? Memo foam. I think that's gonna make it very comfortable. Look at that cushiony. Yeah, looks pretty cool. We'll see about how the stitching rolls. All the stitching looks good. I'm wondering how this this wrap here will hold up, if it's going to peel back or not. I'm curious about that. Only time will tell, of course. One final view of that beefy Vibram sole there. Man, yeah, that looks dope. All right, so I'm going to throw these on and we're going to go out and see how they feel going up and coming down. It's official. I got mud on them. What am I looking at doing? Maybe going to the top of this red mountain here. All right, so these definitely are going to require some break-in. They are pretty stiff. This is a pretty steep trail here, so I've already got a little pain on the tongue here pressing in. I've adjusted that a little bit, so we'll see what happens, man. It's a pretty stiff boot, not like a extremely stiff mountaineering boot, but yeah, these are going to take a little work. So right out the back, pretty muddy conditions, and this is the type of mud that just sticks to the boot. It's actually kind of dangerous because you lose all your traction, and definitely adds some weight to the boot. You can see that deep tread, that mud's just sucking up in there. It's gonna be a hoot. You can actually see how I'm sliding back down as I step. See that? Yeah, good stuff. Let's see if I can get some of that mud to come off. So I mentioned in the beginning, I bought a boot half size larger. So mine, in this case, they're 10.5s. And they don't feel too loose. Like I said, I'd read that they run a little small, so I wanted a little bit more size because coming down I wanted that extra room so my toes wouldn't smash. All right, I was able to get a lot of that mud off, so now I'm back to being able to grip the ground pretty good. Should also mention I'm kind of a little weight too, about 20 pounds on my back, so starting out to a good one, huh? A little rough on my heels so far. Maybe gone about thus far. Very steep. It'll level out right up there. So see how I feel when I get up there, feet wise. I'm kind of having to relearn to walk. I haven't used boots this stiff in a long time. Kind of wanted to force them right off the bat because of the steepness, and that resulted in a bit of a hot spot on my right heel, but it's not so bad now. All right, getting a little more gradual ground, and I have to admit, the boots are somewhat confidence inspiring. I am pleased thus far. I still haven't felt the need to deal with the hot spot on my right heel. I kind of got into a pretty good grind walking, so we'll continue up here, break this cliff wall, see how the boots do with that up climb there. But on the gradual ground, boots feel really good. That initial steep start was a little rough. I just wasn't used to their stiffness, so now I've got another significant uphill section going, so see how it goes once I get to that cliff wall. Whew. All right, well, I'm at the cliff wall, and I'm going to take my right boot off and have a look at the bottom of my heel. It's giving me a little trouble, so it's definitely this part right here, right in there, I'm having a bit of a problem with. Not so much on the left foot, more so the right foot, but I may inspect both of them and get something on them to continue on. Well, no blister yet, but it's getting a little hot, so I do not have any mole skin in my first aid kit. I've just got some band-aids, so that's gonna have to do it. And this is where it's seeming to get me, and that's just because this is right in there. It's a steep walk up there. So I'm gonna tend to this, I'm gonna keep on going. All I've got are some band-aids. I got some heavy-duty waterproof tape, so I'm just gonna tape those up, and I'm gonna do the left foot too, just in case, and continue on. Man, that big old vibrant beefy tread, look at that. It's a mud sucker, that's for sure. I should also point out that the toe box here fits me really well. I think my feet are kind of wide, and I really have a problem with narrow shoes and whatnot, so I have to get it wider. But these they don't come in wide sizes from what I understand, but man, I have no problems in this area whatsoever. The only thing that's bugging me so far is just this part of the heels, but I have this feels great in here, no problems so far. All right, checking out the left heel, no blister yet, but a bit of a hot spot, so I'll do the same thing with the band-aids and the waterproof tape. I'll just get it all taped up there. Boots are back on. I've got this section, a little bit of up climb here, nothing too serious, so I'm going to see how the boots deal with that. Well, thus far they're pretty easy to climb in. Feel pretty comfortable with them. It is sandstone. They're pretty sticky. Yeah, I'm past that little problem now. And this is the final scramble up to the top here. Whew. Got my heels all taped up, so hopefully I'm good to go. I'm gonna scramble up some of this and see how they do on that particular aspect of the terrain. See how it is on this slabby stuff. Sticks really good. And some snow. I mean, I haven't really had any slippage except for that mud, which there's really nothing you can do about that. That'll happen with anything you wear. All right, let's try traversing over some of this loose stuff here. And back over. Oh yeah, you can definitely dig that. Oh yeah, good stuff. Ooh. Okay, well, whew. That's top right there. I'm calling it good right here. All right, that was a good little walk up. I think the boots performed superbly. I got to the hot spots on my heels. I definitely have pressure on those coming up. I'll just keep a blister kit at the top of my pack. I think that's just going to take a little time to break in. That's pretty common. Toe box, totally fine, no problems there. I thought I was going to have some pain with the tongue biting in, but I just adjusted the lacing a little bit and no problem. So the only thing I had was, I mean, this is I got about 1,400 feet under me, pretty steep, straight up. That's with some weight on the back. The boot did not give very much. It is a sturdy, robust boot for sure. And it's a cold February day and my feet are toasty. That's one thing I will say about the boot. I'm in the desert Southwest, so it's going to be a hot boot for sure. Yeah, feet are just toasty. Nothing. Yeah, sweating, toasty. I think it'll just be fantastic in the snow. So I can't wait to get them in the snow. I also can't wait to get them on a kind of a gradual but long walk, you know, 10 miles or so, see how fatigued my feet get. But that's coming up, not today of course, but I'll give them a run on that too. All right, so going up, pretty sweet. A little rough on the lower heels, but I think that's to be expected with a brand new robust boot like this here. And now it's time to turn around and go down, see how they do going down. Whew. I am starting my descent. See how these boots go coming down. I like that big beefy tread. I can edge on it really good. That of course won't last forever, but it's certainly cool right now. Boot seems to be giving a little more. Not that much more though, but enough. Thus far, I've had no problem with my toes jamming into the front of the boot. That's mainly because I got a half size larger, so I'm curious how they'll hold up on a prolonged descent of like miles. So I not only think this boot will be a great mountain boot, but I think it'll be a great Grand Canyon boot as well. Maybe not in the middle of the summer when it's so hot, but definitely in the cooler times. I only say that just because I think the boot's going to be really hot. Please excuse my runny nose. Cold and the wind got me going. A little pressure from the tongue, but not too bad. Good times. Good times. No pressure on my toes, and support is excellent. Let's see how down climbing goes. Lovely, lovely, swimmingly so far. Oh yeah, very nice, very nice. Section. Yeah, they stick, man. I can get into the sides really easy. Oh yeah. All right, back on some gradual downhill, and the boots are fine. They've given a little bit, and a little pressure where the tongues are, but that's remedied by some lacing. Toes are totally fine. Heels aren't bothering me at all. My feet are cooking, man. I mean, they are warm. Well, I'm almost down. I'll have that muddy clay type material to deal with at the bottom. And to be honest, I mean, it's not going to matter what boot or shoe you're wearing in that crap. It's just going to suck to the bottom and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's not really anything I'll place on the boot. But man, I tell you what, I'm really impressed with these boots. They definitely got some growing pains, but that's to be expected with a boot of this caliber. There's that mud clay crap that I was sliding. It's actually good because of I can sidestep into it, and boot handles it very well coming down. At least that little section. I'm gonna try to avoid it. Cut over here, but good stuff. Good stuff. I'm pretty much down. No problems with the toes. No problem with the heels. A little tight, little pressure right in this area. That's just from that tongue, but can deal with that. So like I said, some lacing and probably alleviate that problem. Here's the mud. Put down this drier stuff here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna head back, take them off, and do a wrap. Be back in a second. Okay, folks. Well, look at that. I already tore that. Here we go. Okay, so I think the initial test of these boots, I am confident with the boots. I really think I'm pretty stoked with them. I had some hot spots on my heels, right up in here, in this area. I think that's just to be expected. I went up really steep terrain, about 1,400 feet, with some weight on my back. I stopped about halfway up. Just put I taped some band-aids on my heels just for precautions, and I didn't have any problems. I could still feel it, but no blisters. And coming down, I had no problems in the toe box area, none at all. The heels were fine. I had a little bit of pressure with the tongue here, just because I had it pretty tight. And like I said, while I was coming down, I think lacing could alleviate that problem. So overall, I'm super stoked with the boots. I can't wait to get them up on a mountain in some snow. I think I just think they're pretty dope. I really like this part of the boot, this foam. I think this helps a lot. And I mean, look at this. I'm pressing down on that. They are pretty stiff. There's a little give there, so it's going to take some work. And like I said, to reiterate, there's going to be some growing pains, but nothing too demanding, I don't think. Just the little foresight, you know, you get a hot spot, deal with it, and I think you'll be fine. That's how I'm feeling anyway. And I also wanted to point out that I get my boots a half size larger, so 10.5 for me. And I was a little concerned because I wasn't able to actually try on the boot. I had to order the boot online. That's always a little, you know, you gotta take your chances with that. And would I call them true to size? I don't know, because I ordered mine half a size larger. So they worked well for me, and that's exactly what I was hoping and expecting. So it came out perfectly fine. I'm very happy with the boot. I hope you liked the test and review. I think I'm going to be happy with these boots. These were the Mammut Trovat Guide High GTX boot. What a mouthful. There you have it, folks. Stay safe out there. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Support for the channel is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. D-Rock out. We'll see you next time.